Hi, welcome to Jade Kind Gaming. My name is Adam, here with the 25th session of the Underland Dungeons and Dragons campaign. We have Austin as Erich, Ryan as Henwick, we have Bob as Kalidan, and we have Nick as Jimmy. Last time, you went through basically a day.
I think we leveled up.
No, you leveled up a couple times ago.
We're still 8.
Yeah.
Well, I think we need another one.
You always do. Anyways,
just like 3 or 4
last time some
Maybe
things
6 more.
happened. You I commissioned a mug, got a job to do some investigation of someone that had dropped dead, and
they were
made an
arrested.
agreement to
That's
help.
right.
Yeah, to help with go over some ideas for business moving forward after the disaster. Then you assisted in the arrest of Henwick and Jimmy, who are the lead suspects for having asked questions around the mines the day before a miner showed up dead.
Jimmy, give me a harmonica tune.
They're now sitting in a jail, and
they took it
technically they took everything away, so he does not have his harmonica.
Use your mouth. Singing that.
Sorry, I don't have that skill.
I do.
Wizard in an anti-magic prison.
So you're working on that murder case. They're in a holding cell with Trio in the morning. Erich and Quink are in a nice inn for the evening. Mm-hmm. Kalidan's at the temple, learning to smith. Simple and quick dream of simply you find the raven sitting in a bird cage.
Of course.
Yeah, made sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Like, from the word simple dream, I already had that in mind. I guessed, but I didn't say it out loud.
You're teaching him.
Correct.
No, it drives him nuts. He hates that he does it. I just brought it up, and now he just noticed it. I brought it to his attention, to his utter dismay.
But, so I guess we'll start with your... No, you guys probably aren't sleeping well. You guys wake up in your cell.
Get up, stretch. Look around, see if they've brought food yet.
They have not brought food yet.
Sit, think, how much you're going to prepare spells.
Is there anything in my prison bed?
You have a cot that is basically built in, coming off of the wall. And you have a bucket. And you probably still have whatever plate sitting aside from whatever they'd fed you the night before. Has not been collected yet.
Alright. Do math.
Balancing your budget.
Yep. Wipe my face off.
You wipe your face and do math.
Yeah. So I needed... Because I could make perform checks. But Jimmy needed to give me a tune.
What? Perform checks for math?
No. To sing Stuck in Prison Blues.
Yeah. I'm guessing Jimmy has heard you hum before, and that negative to charisma says, I don't give you tunes when you ask for them.
And yet I ask you not to do that.
Yeah, but I'm good at it. So, we'll wait and then prepared. Do a little light exercise.
Yeah. In a large part, you still have very little idea what's actually gone on, other than, I guess, you have a little more idea that someone's died. And it seems apparently their brain was removed.
Yep.
While I'm not completely, should have probably spent nights in prisons before, back up in the town, for, petty theft and stuff.
Why do you keep stealing petties?
Because they're worth money and I could get food with them.
Otherwise, Erich, you wake up, cozy room.
Yeah, I make my order for breakfast.
Yeah. And promptly it's brought to you.
I ate said breakfast. It's what? Well, how long do I have to wait for the mug to be?
That was supposed to be ready sometime today.
No, obviously not this morning. Most likely, it'd be awful shocking.
Don't you have a fancy party to go to?
And or a court date.
I have a court date. I have to meet them, but that's like later today, right?
In the morning.
Oh, is it the morning? Oh, then yeah, I go to that.
Okay.
It's like, I thought it wasn't until like noon or some shit.
Nope. It was in the morning.
Well,
I think we even had a discussion of bright and early, and then would they use that expression? No, probably not.
Yep. I remember
Due to
that.
them living underground.
And, Paladin, you wake up.
Okay, I go and eat, then go back to Smith's school.
They, show you around with, prepping things for the day. You've gained the name Goggles from a number of the dwarves.
It's not. I don't have to wear that in here, though, right?
It is dimly lit.
Oh yeah, that's
So,
probably
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not specifically bright. It is right near the forge, of course, but a lot of times your back's to that while working. So, and yeah, you set out. They're going to spend a little more time today, just sort of again seeing what you can do, what you've remembered from yesterday. Just letting you play around with some metals. And food is brought to you, as well are, the plates collected, towels and buckets of water.
Drink the water, eat the towel.
You're
You're right, that's wrong. Eat the towel, drink the water. You don't want to waste the water and not have nothing to wash the towel down with.
Can only imagine that would expand a whole lot because of the water. It'd be a really nice filling mill.
Everyone leave, have to poop.
Eat, wash up, make myself presentable for court.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're probably, that showed in as you get up there first, and they have sort of a courtroom, sort of sections on the side. Sort of ask, are you involved in the case or just here to spectate?
I'm a principal witness.
Very well.
What? No.
I'm a character witness.
But that's not a principal witness.
He uses
I
the
say
language
it
that
like I
he
mean
wants
it.
to. But yeah, they show you up to a seat forward to the and to the right. There we go. And you see sort of a
Back of my
a raised platform in the center.
Whatever, sore throat.
Yeah, that has sort of
Turn
a-
that off.
Basically, where the judge sort of
Yesterday?
resides, and there's a few desks and such behind, and then
I'm not sure.
off to
I
the
don't-
left,
I don't know.
there's sort of a balcony
Because that doesn't mean like
that's
that first
completely separated from the rest of the room,
it's
with a door at the back of that.
Probably been dried out.
But a few people shuffle in. You're probably there half hour, 45 minutes before everyone does. But largely people shuffle in, sort of filling out seats. You do see a couple of your the friends you made the other day, of course, in there. A couple dwarves sit amongst the desks in the back, and eventually ask everyone to rise as a excessively overweight, very pompous-appearing dwarf comes in and walks up a flight of stairs at the back of the judge's podium. And today we are looking into the case He just sort of... some notes.
He must be looking for a sandwich.
Regarding,
She opens up his box.
Regarding Grandgrim. True chap. And,
I know him.
Who?
Rangrim.
Who's that?
Me and him were old friends.
Who's Rangrim?
I believe the one that died that Austin in no way knows.
No, it's the guy who owns the company.
Yeah, he's a mine owner.
Yep.
He's a major mine owner.
Mm-hmm.
And, Bofton. Mr. Bofton. Well, he's deceased. Unfortunate.
This job is terrible. He's bad at his job, this guy.
Well, hey man, nepotism works, pretty well.
Oh, I'm glad it came across so instantly.
I'm sure he's extremely qualified for this job. He's at least like a brother of somebody important.
That is very qualified. Important people's brothers are often decent at things.
Yes. He's not like one of those second cousin layabouts.
Oh, mediocre at best.
And apparently...
Or even worse, the second cousin tryhards. They try, and then they bungle it.
Are these... Henwick and... Jimmy?
It's like, name's
fused
too
together.
boring. Must be fancy.
Foreigners.
Must be foreign. No way it's actually pronounced the way this is spelled.
Aaron? You messed up now, Aaron?
I suppose I'll bring them in. And probably a minute goes by. At a certain point, the pair of you are doors unlocked. Yep, you don't need it. And you're both led up sort of a flight of stairs through a narrow passageway. At the top, there is like a guard that is just stationed at the far end, and there are doors on the left and right. You are taken both through the door on the right, out onto said raised sort of platform where there are a few seats you can choose from. And then from your perspective, you look out. Judge is sort of on a platform raised to your level, just slightly off to your left. Off to the right is and ahead of you are audience, etc. If you look through, you see your friend Erich is there, and then behind the judge on the far end, down at the lower level, are people, officials taking notes, etc.
Mm-hmm.
A few stationed around are guards. But otherwise, once in, the door is shut, and you are left alone up on the upper raised platform.
Jimmy, where did you spend last night? I mean, the night before.
The night before last.
Do you discuss any of this before you end up being locked up? Because you did have some time, or is this your discussion as you sit down in...
Yeah. So,
when we were in there, I tell you which inn I was at, back when we were in the cells.
so you went to an inn, okay.
Otherwise...
You have that great alibi of being crazy in a church.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Otherwise, this sort of was saying, seems 2 days ago, you found harassing a great many of the establishments in the city immediately upon arriving. I just said that. Did you not listen? Well, I would just like to hear from your side what happened on that day.
just shut your face hole.
I calmly explained how we were new to town and interested in the dwarven ways of mining. We were talking to different mine owners to see what information they could give on their superior mining ways. We hope to take this far away from here so we can mine and make our places profitable.
What do you mean, your people?
Green. They're just green.
It's persuasion.
Yeah, 29.
29. And you?
Oh, yeah.
I just love the pain in your face.
Well, I ended up talking to the people of the Arcanist Guild, and they gave me a bit more information about what they do as far as helping to have built the impressive city here. I do have to say, though, the hospitality of the people at the Temple of Moradin was impeccable.
Of course. And so, 2 evenings ago, what did the pair of you do?
I stayed at the inn, give its name.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and tell you. And it's like, well, I spoke with the gate guard, Flint, and he gave me some suggestions on where I could possibly stay. So I then made my way down to the Arcanist Guild after speaking with him. Talked to one of the general members of the guild, and they told me to come back in the morning, and then I found my way to the Temple of Moradin, where they set me up for the night.
Very good, very good. You also need a persuasion check.
But that was all true, wasn't it?
Womp womp.
That's why it's not a deception check.
8.
And, he sort of writes down some notes. Oh, well. And then we have some people here to speak on behalf of the situation. They have, first up from that, and coming up to sort of like a small, lower-level bench, just sort of off to the side, Randgrim comes up basically saying, oh yes, came out in the morning and there was a body being, to the sound of those, the gods collecting body from doorstep. Terrible fright, very fearful, needing to make great leaps in business to overcome such bad issues.
Business, business, business. Profit, money, money, money. Am I doing good? Yeah.
Sort of almost like blowing aside the fact that someone that was an employee of his is dead.
People die all the time. But business profits,
I raised
those
my
are
hand.
quarterly.
That's
You are
true.
promptly ignored.
Yeah, well, I raised my hand until they're ready to call me.
Yeah.
That's not.
Just from the classroom.
That's
Better
the
than him
point.
to
Just speak out.
Yeah.
Just speak out. He told you it's not a classroom. Make use of that low negative charisma.
But his intelligence, it's so high.
But can
So
you
the things he
resist the
says-
temptation?
Are probably wise, but otherwise they have the
Just start quoting. In a city with this many dwarves, it's statistically improbable that I'd be the one to commit a murder.
Alunt is brought up to give the telling tale of what's been discovered through the autopsy of having the brain been physically removed, and sort of murmurs amongst the crowd to that.
I look shocked. Specifically. Yeah, exactly. Like, obviously he didn't know what had happened, because it did, but I played up ever so slightly.
I nod.
Just be like, yep, it got eaten.
They so say, does anyone else have things to bring forward?
That's your cue, Vic.
He is not even looking in your direction. He's-
Yes, I do. I can speak to the adventuring and righteous character of these fellows. I've traveled them with some time, and they have comported themselves as excellent individuals of high honor and grand capability. Why, it wasn't even a week ago when we were fighting the great Slotties in the Crystal Caverns. I'm gonna try and make a
rescue the
make a
captured-
performance there. Make a 24 on my performance skill, and I'm going to tell a great story, full of daring do. The way we had to
And
face
how
off.
many did you rescue from them?
Well, unfortunately, many had already perished. We were only to rescue a small fraction of those that were there. Many of them were injured grievously, but we restored them to health and got them back to their towns where they could be cared for.
What was your total by that?
24.
Sort of as he kind of looks,
all two of them.
sighs over. Oh, did you have something to add?
Yeah.
That's the first time after several people that he's even looked in your direction.
This is what I'm good at.
Yeah, as far as evidence, I was curious. I had been told by the officer that I spoke with beforehand about the extraction of the brain. I was wondering, has anybody got the testimony from the victim yet?
He's dead.
Well, there's magic for that.
Yeah, and he's like, that doesn't mean that he couldn't have given his testimony. So, has anybody spoken with him?
Certainly not. It's upset.
Are you in need of a speak with dead spell in order to get his input?
I suppose that could be obtained if we're looking deep enough into this. Rangrim, would you want to fund such a thing?
No.
No, I think... Well, wasn't there some information from the gods of that evening? Were you wearing an outfit like his shoes?
An outfit like his shoes?
Yes, we did have...
I showed them off. They're very nice.
Oh, they've been seen.
Oh.
Yes, we did have some recollection that might have been you that evening, traveling through the streets.
From going to the front gate to the
Yes, all the way
all
the
way
length
to-
of the city.
Yeah, all the
We have
way
a few
to
reports of that.
of the Wizards Guild. I bedazzled myself, yes, since it was whatever. It was getting dark, and I wanted to make sure that any of the guards could see me.
Well, yes, I worked fairly well, and so Rangam says, well, with that, and of course, incredible character, witness here. We could probably assume it must have been otherwise further issues. No charges.
I mean, it's like, if we're interested in more information on this case,
No reason
charges,
to have
you go
any
home.
charges.
No charges, go home.
and it's like, I've got information on aberrations that might be able to help.
Do you have the speak with dead spell?
Not me personally, but we could get one.
Do you need a scroll for that, or is it on your list?
We could either trade for it, or
Perhaps
maybe they'd have a scroll.
Perhaps we'll see if you come by. You seem to know young Master Erich here. Perhaps come by later in the week. We have a meeting tomorrow. Perhaps after that, sometime. Perhaps if the case is to be brought up further.
All right, we'll do lunch.
We'll at this point. Condolences and severance to the victim's family can be covered probably rather than the need for speak with dead. Why waste the money on that when we can just move on? There was definitely a little bit of confused murmuring from the audience, from the chamber, but the judge just sort of says, "Well, seems fun by me."
Looks
just sort of
looks pensive.
Yeah, judge just looked fine with it.
I would say insight, but I don't have that training.
Oh, I can make an insight check.
Yeah.
I'm alright. 21.
Yeah, you will at the very least just notice that Rangrim when the idea of speaking with the deceased was brought up was definitely when Rangrim just sort of said, "No, let's get this closed." So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, you can assess for yourself the different possibilities for why that might be. Otherwise, you're kind of, as things are closed out, you guys, literally like half the chamber has emptied out before the door is unlocked from behind you.
Yeah.
So, sounds like you're all cleared. Well, look at your things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go get our stuff.
And they come and they unlock again basically the drawers that things had been locked into for you to pull your stuff out of. You
Check on my stuff.
literally doesn't look like anyone's opened the drawer since.
There we go.
Does not even look like they bothered to go through to search your stuff
All right, Jimmy.
as part of their investigation.
After we get out of here, you gotta come help me.
Last time I helped you, I ended up in jail.
He's not wrong.
Well, we're going to be, outside of town, so we should be good.
Oh, okay.
So, do you stop and wait for them to get out?
Well, yeah, I guess.
Okay. So as you're basically exiting the building on the top of the flight,
Yeah, I mean,
flight
it's
of
like we have
stairs.
arrangements. We'll be assisting them in tracking down what caused this. Matters such as these need a certain amount of discretion when dealing with individuals of this level of
Dignity.
Sensitivity.
peerage. That's the word I was looking for.
Guess
See,
that worked.
guessed it right. I mean, give it to him. Give it to him. He got it.
What? You get to be right once out of every 100 times you do something, and I'm supposed to give you a fucking standing ovation. I don't think so.
You gotta give credit.
No, broken clock.
So what's peerage?
They're fancy.
Yeah.
They're fancy.
Uh,
Also, as you can tell, we're also kind of fancy. We killed like 33 slots. So,
Yeah.
It was a pretty good fight.
What's this wee business?
Well, we did. I mean, it was pretty impressive.
our band of adventurers.
Yeah.
I hope you used our name in there.
No,
The Strongarms.
we are the stronger.
I don't know. We should, before we do your thing, since we're literally right next to the Arcanist Guild, go check over there to see if anyone has Speak with Dead.
Yeah.
See, I'm totally not wasting my double proficiency in performance.
Is that on the wizard spell list?
Unfortunately, in 5th edition, we can't just look at the spell and see who gets it. We actually have to go to the different spells lists.
It's on the bard spell list.
But not wizards?
It's on the cleric and bard spell list.
Yeah,
What
not
levels?
necessarily. That is basically the Arcanist Guild is a wizard's guild. It's like they could find some context with it if it's really needed, but
Yeah, it's like, just ask if they had a scroll of it. It's like, I figured they'd gather.
you can't use a spell scroll unless it is on your class's spell list.
Yeah. I'm a bard.
They are not.
Yes, but I just figured people would trade them magic so they could trade with other
And
people.
rogues can. If
They're not rogues either.
you pick that thief rogue and get that UMD.
We might be able to send a merchant over to Warrenhide and get a potion.
Well, I mean, most likely that body's going to be
Buried, burned, or whatever
yeah,
doors
it's going
do.
to disappear. That body's going to suffer an accident.
Yeah, probably.
Tragic accidents.
Did you happen to feel that one gentleman seemed more interested in the facts not coming to light?
Oh, yeah, I can bring it up,
Yeah.
since I was the one who discerned it. And it's like, yeah, Rangrim seemed to want to keep this quiet after we wanted to look more into it.
Okay, well, what do you need to do outside town, anyways?
Oh, we need to go and collect no arms and sneak in the bows.
Well, they can't come inside.
But I don't want to leave them out there in their current state.
What do you mean current state?
They're dangerous right now because they're not under my control. Because they locked me away in prison.
Ah. That is bad.
That is an incredible thing that I didn't even think about. There are now a few.
So we're going to need to go and
They are
track
no
them
threat to
down.
the walls.
Yes.
We're going to need to go and track them down and subdue them so we can get them back under control again.
Okay.
Well, I have things to do today.
Yeah.
I'm very busy. I also don't have any weapons.
Yeah,
That's fine. I wouldn't need your weapons. We wouldn't be attacking them.
yeah, it's like, let's pick up a big, metal net on our way.
Okay.
You get to spring for that. I'm going to be wrestling your skeletons and zombies to the ground. I want a net.
Good luck.
Okay, we can go get a net.
Do you need a metal net for a reason?
It's big and heavy. I don't know.
He just wants one.
I just mean as far as why would a rope, net not...
He doesn't want a wrap net or a country net. He wants a metal net.
Okay, yeah, none of them have bladed ones.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, that could cut through it. But none of the skeletons or zombies have swords, and no arms doesn't have no arms.
Yeah, no arms is just wearing armor, and the other ones just have bows.
Yeah. So normal net will do fine.
Probably 2 silver.
Okay.
For a big net.
Yeah. Like that is not a expensive.
That's way more debilitating than you might think.
Yeah.
As someone who's been in one of those nets, it's like you take a lot faster than you think if you ain't paying attention.
Alright, so here's net.
Yeah.
I can go ahead and get out my rope.
Also, rope really resistant to being cut if you're trying to use like a sharp knife.
No, they don't have
A
knives.
net's not that kind of rope.
Yeah.
You can't.
It's right there.
I know,
Pencil.
but it's blue. You know it's mine because it's blue.
They're both blue.
Just
It's
like
right there,
you
it's
don't
my
have to
pencil.
grab the ones on the other side because they're red.
Well, he's also way more handsy and smacky.
There you go. That's your problem, Adam.
Not smacky enough.
I often find that smacking people who touch things makes it so they don't touch them anymore. Through experimentation, of course.
Yes, I remember.
Grab the net, leave town, return to the area where we let them go and hide, and I'll go ahead and...
So yeah, you head off for there. At the gate, you are stopped, and they have to go, basically send someone to,
Did these people get let
Temperature.
go?
yeah, basically check out things. Temperature, Bob. Temperature. Yeah, someone yeah. Basically, you traveled to them faster than the news from the court did, so.
Are you just breaking out of prison?
Yeah, we were
Be honest.
Okay, well, it's like, we're breaking out of prison, but we'll wait here and allow you to check.
Well, you will, yeah.
Yeah, you will. We're very scary.
Flint has a nice casual conversation about some things while you're waiting for things to be investigated.
I gotta tell you, Flint, you people are never halfway. You're the nicest people you ever meet are incredibly rude.
What do you mean by
That? That sounds like dwarves.
Yeah.
And yet, still less rude than the people who wouldn't let us in their city.
Oh, and yeah, those guys are just dickheads.
You know that's your people, right?
Huh? The drow?
No, the gnomes. Those people who just wouldn't let us in their city.
Oh no, they were just being sensible.
Remember, the other city that kind of wouldn't let you in, let him in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they were dickheads.
His shiny new weapon says otherwise. Otherwise, continuing to do some smithing. Do you have this? Do you have specific? Yeah, do you have specific interests that they're starting to coming ideas? Are you wanting to learn armors, weapons, utility items? I mean, like what sort of are you wanting to?
Just everything.
Well, yes, of course we'll get around to it, but at this point,
Do you want to make horseshoes for the next 12 hours? For all these non-horses?
I guess weapons.
okay, yeah, and they'll start with
No,
the weapons.
armors.
Armors. Yeah, and they'll basically start through, because at this point they're getting not just into, because at this point you're probably around a quarter through what you need to learn to really be proficient. You're getting the basics of it down.
Yay!
So now they're just starting basically teaching you different, here are the things that if you get a job to smith things, you're going to be expected to know how to do. Different ways for different joints to be hinged in armors, different bits to be attached to different things, that kind of thing, as far as just all the stuff you need to know in order to actually create the pieces. The way all the intricate different, basically you make all these different pieces of metal that all work together to make plate armor, that's complex stuff that proficiency with tools technically gives you. So they're going through that kind of things now and teaching you, how to basically make suits of armor and such today. So
Cool. Right, all right.
So you're still standing atop the stairs. After a little time with them. Bless you.
Thank you.
What do you,
I go and figure out, they have mines and stuff.
No mines at all through this. That's not been at all part of the...
Well, I know they do. The point is, I try and figure out where those are. Are they accessible to people? Are they, completely mapped out? Do they have unknown regions, like depths and stuff? Where was this dude at, where he got murdered in?
The front stoop of some guy's house.
He was in this house.
No, he was murdered in a mine, and his body was moved to a stoop. I'm pretty sure that's what I was told.
Not to their knowledge. He, in fact, if anything, if very much prying is done to the guard that is sort of at this point kind of moving things along to the, it's being closed at this point. But his comment was, no, from everything at the gate gods, he walked into town earlier that evening, fairly late, but earlier that evening.
Well, then I go and loiter about until noon.
Do you have something specific at noon?
I'm going to go check on my blood.
Okay, so you didn't have a specific time, but you just sort of wait until noon feels like a good time to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll check in on it then.
Yeah.
I'll loiter about at the end.
Okay.
I've been patronizing. Tell some stories. Gather some stories. Any good legends about some mines? Just find some dwarves. You know any good stories about mining? Well,
The dwarves in
you know any good stories about running business?
Ah! Let me tell you about the time that I shaved off 8% margin from the top.
And only starved 2 orphanages.
Yeah, you gotta applaud that. I mean, those orphanages were basically dead weight.
And only 2 of them.
Yeah,
You probably got almost no bad, nothing bad from that at all.
The PR is great.
The inn you're at is not also a tavern, so it's...
Oh, it's not?
Yeah, it's not that there aren't people to speak with, it's just people as they go in or out.
Well, I go to a tavern then.
Yeah. But otherwise, yeah, you can do whichever.
And I loiter about in a tavern until noon.
And yeah, you guys need to make a luck check, someone.
Not me.
Not you. It's one of them.
Why not me?
Because you're not with
hunting
them.
skeletons.
Just like otherwise he would.
18?
18, yeah, you pretty much find your group of undead still more or less congregating needlessly in the chamber where you kind of left them off to the side. Nothing has drawn them away, and being there, they have no goals of their own.
Yeah, okay.
Just start wondering if they come at you, I'll net them.
Well, we're gonna go and tie him up.
Couldn't you cast it without them noticing?
I suppose I could, but...
He wants a more bondage element to this.
It's like, I'd rather not engage with them at all if we don't have to.
I'll attempt. Come and help me if they...
What's the range on
10 feet.
10 feet as he walks up?
No, hold on. I can try it, but come and help me if they catch on to it.
Yeah.
Okay, I cast invisibility on myself.
Okay.
And then I'm going to try to go up there and start casting it.
What is the time for this spell?
It's a minute to
And
cast
as
it.
soon as you start casting it, your invisibility would break, right?
Nope.
When you cast the spell, so at the end of that time.
You are casting it when you start.
It's
And
not
you would know that, so you wouldn't have to use invisibility, because you know it would break as soon as you start.
It's not a concentration spell.
Invisibility wears off when you cast it, because you cast a spell.
okay.
Yeah, unless you have the greater invisibility that lets you...
No, I
yeah.
don't. That's surprising. I used to be able to do summoning invisibly. But
Hold on.
it's
Go,
different.
go invisible.
That's because
I'm
invisibility...
going to go over there. I'll put a silent image rock on top of you.
Well, that'd still break invisibility when I start casting, right?
Well, yeah, but
You're
then you'll
inside
be
a
a
rock.
rock.
Oh. Well,
Ultimately, you could probably put the silent image rock there. He can watch that.
Yeah.
Wait for them to stop being interested in whatever it is, and then go hide in the...
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
do
that
then.
works.
Yeah.
That works.
We'll do that.
Enough for the...
It's rock.
Get bored. You go there and start...
Why is that rock making our
Yeah.
noises?
Yeah.
You don't think them breaking, that
I
check.
get a little notice, but at that point it's little enough that they're not smart enough to really figure out too much of what's going on in their current state. They're not.
Yeah, they're not geniuses.
No.
Alright, so now I got my dudes back under control. Alright. Next time I'm breaking out if they try to lock me away for a day. I don't want to...
I'm almost sure that'll cause far more problems than silent imaging a rock and you just recasting that.
Yeah.
Well, they could have wandered towards the city, gotten destroyed, and then he would be out, and he has no ability to get new bodies.
Until...
I don't know, you could try and get that one.
Well, the thing is that we know where some dead bodies are, and all I need is bones. If I just want to make skeletons, because whatever anime dead only requires a pile of bones or a corpse.
Not even like a full skeleton, just a pile of bones.
Yeah, and it's the way it's at least described. You could, logically say that you would
So
need
like an
a
all-you-can-eat
full
buffet for ribs, that'd be enough.
skeleton. Yeah. Hey, just take...
No, it has
It's a
to be
pile
the
of
bones
bones.
of a creature, to which, if it is missing parts of the bones, that was missing from the skeleton that is created.
I think cows are creatures. That was probably really loud. I am so sorry.
Soda noises!
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, reanimate and control a pile of bones or a corpse of a medium or small humanoid.
It's a pile of bones
Or a corpse.
of a medium or small human.
No, it's a pile of bones or a corpse. Yeah, they're lacking some commas there, I guess.
Mm.
Syntax is hard because English is a hodgepodge of a language.
But I'm just going to read it the way that makes logical sense,
Yes.
and is...
I don't know. People have a lot of opinions concerning commas.
So we have to go to a buffet for cannibals in order
It's
to
always
get
better
this
to
done.
use more commas.
You have not found one of those yet.
Yeah.
So we head back into town.
That's not where you're going to find... What do you
That's
think
where all
these
the people
dwarves
are.
Alright. You guys go back into hiding.
Yeah. I guess you leave them in... I'm assuming you're just leaving them in the same chamber that you...
Yeah, they were safe
Yeah.
here. Might as well. I'm throwing that over there.
Yes, just in case.
There you go.
Yeah, I always.
Officially
Why don't
speaking...
you just tie them up right
Officially
now?
speaking, if you do that and someone stumbles upon them, they get destroyed. If you don't, they, on their own, are still defending themselves.
Yeah, they can at least flee. They've
Yeah.
got standing orders to run away if somebody comes after them.
Fine. Take the net, put it back in the bag.
I could probably fit a couple of the skeletons into my bag, but,
Let's not bring the undead into the city.
well, we'll always bring one, but he's in a pocket dimension, so it
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
matter as much.
Technically, unless you bring him out, he's not in the city.
Yeah.
So head back to the city, and I guess Erich said we're investigating that dude's death for them.
Is that how taxation works in D&D? Whoa! That wasn't done into the city premises. That was an extra-dimensional space. You can't tax it. So everything inside this shop is an extra-dimensional space.
I don't know, didn't Erich say you wanted to do lunch later?
Lunch with some fancy person, but didn't he say we were investigating? I don't know, let's go find Erich.
Okay.
So around noon.
I go and check on my mug.
Yes!
See if that's been built.
I took a little bit of liberty, but I think you'll like it. And he kind of, sort of goes into the bag and sort of takes out from a crate that has setting amongst, bits of luck and such, basically cushioned just stuff. Sort of intricate mug with some details and finer workings and the metalwork. But the art depicted is a mug that shows you fighting a 16-headed hydra over a lake.
I do like it. I am okay with this.
Sort of like each of the has the Hydra like ringing the top of it.
Did he remember to add the lady?
Yeah, the lake's close enough.
The watery tart.
How much did I owe for that?
I think you already paid him, but I'm not sure.
My money mine doesn't look like I paid him. Because it's 4 gold for the inn, right?
2 gold tonight.
Yeah, and I spent 4, so yeah, I'm only down 4 gold since this whole thing started.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was 40.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds like what I
Because we
was
did all that math.
But I had not spent it, no. I paid the man.
I didn't write it down, but I'm pretty sure it's
That sounds right.
No, it's definitely 40.
Yeah.
because it was adamantine
Oh, yeah.
engraved.
Yes, you now have a fine mug.
Yeah.
And where do you go from here?
To lunch.
Very well. Marchus will examine sort of the mug. Oh, very nice, very nice. Definitely something worth being enchanted. Agreement and what's good deal. I was glad that things managed to all clear themselves up with that case today. The Rengrim did feel it resolved well enough. It's ready to move on with business.
Super. Glad to be of assistance. And also relieved that the individual I've been talking with were not heinous murderers.
Oh, yes, of course. Oh, yes, sure.
That would have been terrible.
Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah, you have a nice, pleasant lunch. Rengrim is not there today.
I'm sure he's recovering from the trials of the court.
Of the trial.
Trials of the trial. That's
Truly,
good. I like
truly a troubling day in court. Stressful.
It almost cost him money.
Do you guys know where? Did he ever show you guys where he was having lunch and meeting with these people?
He showed us the fancy place that he was staying at as far as the inn.
Okay.
So we could go there and ask if they know where he is.
They do not.
I don't know.
I don't know. Is Quink still there?
Well, it should be with me.
Okay.
In her fancy butler outfit.
Yep.
So we don't know where Erich is.
No. Could always sit out front of Flint's house. That's usually a great place to hang out.
Yeah, you ever check the messages?
I'm gonna go back to the Arcanist Guild.
Well, good luck with that. Try not to get arrested. I'll head back to Flint's place. It's either that or loiter outside the fancy inn. And I feel they'll get more upset about me loitering here.
Of course they would. Just feel bad for Flint.
I have my own inn. I'll go spend a gold and hang out there. I'll let you know which inn I'm at.
Okay.
Otherwise, you've a lovely meal. You go back to your inn. You get to the Arcanist Guild.
Knock, knock, knock.
Takes some time. Someone answers the door.
Had
Oh, you were here a few days ago.
Yep. Oh, is it the same guy?
Nope.
No, different guy.
But you know at this point you're recognized as you come to the door.
Alright, it's like, okay, I'm here. I was told to come back when people were awake and everything because I tried coming last night and
2 nights ago, yeah.
oh, you're right, 2 nights ago. I tried coming.
Last night you were in jail.
Yeah, tried coming 2 nights ago and she told me to come back later, and then I
Couldn't come yesterday.
yeah.
A little tied up there.
Yep, we ended up helping out the people at the Temple of Moradin. Spoke with the lady, the mother dwarf. She was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I was wondering what. So what's the process of becoming a member?
Well, arrange for a meeting with one of the guild masters. If you're actually interested, you can come in and sit down. We'll see what we can set up.
Okay, I do so.
And again, just sort of in that round common room. Take a seat. Takes a little time before a dwarf, but a dwarf with much finer features. So something is off. Just physically about this dwarf as she comes down the stairs.
What do you have, dwarf?
Something. Yeah, so sort of says, thinking of actually joining today.
Yeah.
Let's have a meeting. Sort of leads off to sort of a partitioned little section. Technically still part of the main room, but sort of like a screen that sort of half blocks it from the rest of the room. And what's your background with the arcane arts?
Well, I'd say since I was very young, my grandma and some of the arcane masters that are in my city brought me up learning.
Do you name my city, or do you name drop your city?
Oh, I'll say Warrenhide.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've always been quite closed off to.
And so they provided me my arcane education, and then since I've been to the surface and then came back down here, I've been quite rapidly progressing through the different spheres of magic.
Wonderful.
I'd say I'm currently on whatever fourth circle magic, if that gives you any. I don't even. I'm not aware of what the archmages of this guild, what circle they are of.
That's such a weird.
It feels very in-game how they would refer to spell levels, yeah.
Tiers, levels, I mean, it all works out.
Yeah.
Levels are easier.
How pompous do you want to be?
They're mages.
So not at all.
Yeah, very pragmatic.
Yeah, that's what the mages are.
That's why they wear dresses all the time.
It's because we don't have armor proficiency.
You can still wear pants.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with a good old pair of pants.
Yeah, but then when I levitate, it didn't go.
Yeah, you don't want people looking up at your bits.
Nah, we're mages.
Check out how magical bits.
This is magic teabagging.
It's the cheapest thrill.
And yeah, so she'll discuss a bit of the history. He's a little interested in sort of the background within Warrenhide. They've always been sort of kept off from there.
I'd say that I specifically have been one of the ones who's had more dealings with people outside of the city, along with my sister who does merchant work.
She'll actually ask for her name. What does she sell?
Oh, she does general commerce for the city.
Okay. I don't remember her name, but we have had a... Like, literally, the person is saying that.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't remember her name, but we have had a gnome come through to doing some sales I've seen a time or two.
Yeah. Ardia Heartlocket.
But it was just like, well, in general, you seem capable enough of joining to officially join.
I take a moment to explain the situation, that it's not that I won't be able to be like a homebody as far as staying within the guild, since I'll have a lot of travel that I'll be doing. But I was told that was fine.
Well, of course, yes. In fact, there are things that can be brought within it. You would generally need to stop at one of the cities where a guild has some sort of presence, generally each month, or you could pay dues ahead of time. But in general, you can... joining would be either 200 gold or providing some research, something to the guild that it does not have, regardless of level. If it's something that if it's something that's beyond what we have direct access to, that would of course suffice. And then otherwise, in general, guild dues would be 25 gold per month, or doing work for the guild. clearing things out, etc. In general, things are not always as... The work is, the work options can generally be cheaper, of less value than the monetary options. We do certainly have members that would just rather put money into the guild and just gain benefits, access to further spells.
I'll go ahead and bring up that I'm interested in doing research on magic that is able to affect non-humanoids and anything that would provide the ability to do.
The initial thought is just sort of the idea of a hold monster over hold person.
Right, like the actual base theorems, not necessarily those spells in particular, but the idea of what needs to happen in order to affect a non-humanoid.
Okay, yeah, so we certainly have access to laboratories. Generally, again, that's the kind of thing, if you really wanted to get something out of the guild, that would be the kind of thing that could, certainly involving the knowledge, could involve some jobs for the guild. Though, admittedly, that would be the kind of thing, generally having access to that would be the tools that are provided in, not even just where we have presence, but one of the major guild halls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like, well, I'd definitely be willing to work on that and then provide the results of the research to the guild so it can be proliferated.
Of course, wonderful.
You gonna trade in your speak with animals?
And it's like, that's something that I can provide that they more than likely don't have.
Yeah, that would actually work.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking of all the house, but that is true. That is something...
You don't get miracle. Here's your speak with animals.
To be fair,
wizard
between
spell.
the two, that is probably the more impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, any wizard can learn this. Only me and the select people who have this written down.
It's like, this is... Wait a minute. That's what the druids do.
Mm-hmm.
But they do sort of note, if you let guild membership lapse, so if you're away for a period of time, then you would have to then rejoin to carry on.
My wayward son.
I wouldn't have, like, back dues to pay before I can access guild benefits.
It might be something could be worked out directly, and depending on where you go.
Mm-hmm.
If you just are stopping by one of the guild houses in a city where we have a much smaller presence, then they wouldn't necessarily have any official capacity to accept something like that. If you have, for example, here, where we have a few of the guild masters, we could of course do that as long as it hasn't been more than a couple months, but generally at the point where the back dues would be half of the cost, you're not going to... You're basically going to have to rejoin, just in that you've been missing for so long.
Right. Well, I did go missing, but... yeah. But yeah, no, okay, I understand.
Yeah. Sort of, that is me basically warning you if you want to join now, or if you want to join later.
Alright.
Well, you could always just pay ahead for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you could just pay ahead and be like, not worrying about it. To which case they will shrug their shoulders as, oh, he is one of those that just throws money at it, and alright, well, we need that too.
Alright, so... yeah, so they want me to talk to one of the guild masters now?
No, she is one of the
Oh,
guild masters.
okay. Alright.
What?
And it's like, alright.
The archmages, as it were.
And
It's Cathra.
okay. Let's book with Cathra.
Oh, that's a terrible name.
It's fine. It's better than some of the other ones that he's had.
It just invokes catheter images for me.
That's the kind of woman she is.
Self-lubricating and helps you pee.
Alright, so...
What? This is Vic's fault.
It's not my fault. I refuse responsibility.
So, anyway, it's like... Does she say what of her circle of magic she's attained as the Archmage?
No.
No? If I ask her, what does she say?
She will probably vote up as that is not necessarily a common view of things. The strict line between the different levels of magic is not commonly in world setting.
Having trouble passing through level 3, huh? I know that's a rough one.
Yeah, going to the bridge of
Cast casual shade at their magic levels.
And it's like, I'll go ahead and pull open my spell book and start flipping through and see what she finds most interesting.
Oh, no.
That's a lot of necromancy.
To be fair, you actually have to say things with your spellbook. Your spellbook, you are required to provide help with. Your spellbook is half invisible half the time.
Right. Yeah, I go ahead and...
but yeah, the speak with animals is definitely would suffice to provide the research to join.
Okay. And it's like, yeah, get this. This is something more unique that I've discovered.
Yeah. So... she'll take time to that. Okay, so we have that. So you've joined, and that also covers your first month's dues here.
Mm-hmm.
Take note of that somewhere, and sort of where we are. And I'm guessing in general you keep somewhat semblance of distance of time. As days pass, to at least get an idea.
Okay.
How many days in a month?
30, basically.
Okay.
That's what, 25 or 50 a month?
Mm-hmm.
No, I was asking.
Well,
What?
he agrees it is one of those two.
25 or 50 gold per month.
Oh, it was 25 per month. But this month is covered.
Yes,
So.
for the 200 and or spell research.
That's an insane amount.
It is expensive, yes.
We don't fight.
What level spell was that you just gave?
1.
First level. He just gave a first level spell to cover for what would be a $200 fee. They specifically said it's almost they would rather you either give research or work. It is the reason the costs are so high is because they are for the people that are really rich and not really caring about the guild. They're just doing their own thing, but are willing to pay for it. They would rather the people that are involved with the guild, but they're not going to turn away the money that the guild needs to.
I'm still complaining about it.
Question, is she interested in absorb elements?
Is that something unique at all, or
It's from Xanathar's.
okay?
It's an abjuration spell.
And what level is it?
1.
Yeah, no, they would already have that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the problem with this situation is they'll probably have all the first level spells.
And they got all the PHP stuff.
It's like, how old are your mages guild? 300 years. Which spells are you missing? None of them.
200 gold. See?
How long does it take you to write a spell into your book?
2 hours for
2
a
hours
level.
per level. And you can spend up to 16 hours per day
Writing?
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
If you want to do some things to try to cover further months without having to just spend the money, you can. At just sort of the entrance level, you kind of get the feeling you basically have two options right now. You can begin research, and upon basically once she's finished copying things in, you are giving a signet ring that is an arcane item, and that is also of the guild symbol. Simplistic. It is basically a circle, and it has a triangle in it. And you are shown around first to the upstairs, which was sort of, I believe, a living kind of area, and also through a trap door that is underneath a cushion, to downstairs, which has 3 different levels that include a lot of just books, arcane research. Various bits are locked off. Your ring is also a key accessible to certain things. As far as first level spells, they have in spell books that are accessible there everything in the player's handbook, as well as Xanathar's guide. And at this point, that is what you have access to. You have access to the ink and components to copy things down. So whether you have things you need to copy over from your own stuff, or if you want to copy any first level spells that you do not have, you can do so.
Have fun, Ryan.
Alternatively, you can dedicate time to actually using some of the research with various components, etc., and trying to do research to discern your own, based on your own guides. So you may... There are other socializing and other kind of aspects that you can do there, but I'm guessing that you, knowing you, are going to choose between one of those two things for your remaining time before your friends try and drag you away.
Sure.
No, I want to go back to the library.
No.
Can he start trying to create his own spells?
Technically.
Yes,
That
of course
sounded
he
an awful
can.
lot like a no.
Will he ever get those new spells? Maybe.
Oh, I've never been a wizard. I was like, yeah,
There are not hard-written rules for it, no.
Yeah, okay. Well, basically, it's like, does this feel the right power level for this level?
I would love to have a lightning-based fireball.
Isn't there a lightning-based fireball that's level like 5?
I have Storm Sphere, and it's almost as good.
I
I wanted to shoot
I'm going to point out
exploding
just
lightning.
directly with your history, as this is the third major settlement that you know of. Of course, there is nothing in Warrenheim. In the Drow City, you also are given the location where there is a guild house. There's none of the guild masters are there. There's not they don't have the research library and not access to all of that.
Oh,
but it is a general.
A guild in the Drow City?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there is basically they tell you where you can access something. A few members of the guild that live there where you have access to that. So
Is there a portal circle here?
there is here. There is not in the guild house.
And there's a teleport circle here. Okay.
Because this just seems like something a very well-established mage house would just have.
Yeah.
It's a year-long expedition of like 17,000 gold to say teleport circle.
It's like the main reason to join the Mages Guild in Morrowind.
Bamf, bamf, bamf.
How else are you going to travel? By foot?
It's Strider, man.
Yeah, I'd rather just Mage Guild.
You don't like the giant fleas?
So yeah, you can think what you're doing with that.
Yeah, I'll do research on animate monster.
Okay. You're researching
Animate dead monster.
Yeah.
So that is creating a new spell.
Yeah.
That's what he wanted to do.
Yeah, see, I was off asking, not knowing he was doing that.
Oh yeah, no, that's what he's been wanting to do.
Yep, that and tunnel through rock.
That one's more recent.
Yes.
And I think probably more niche. I think ultimately because if he animates a monster, he doesn't need to give that monster the equipment necessarily.
Yeah, monsters would be more flexible because
Yeah.
they'd need less equipment.
But just go and tunnel through rock down here is incredibly useful.
Yes.
The fact that no one's developed that spell yet.
There are plenty of ways to get through rock that are much safer than what he wants to do, and much more practical.
But not as fast.
What he is wanting to do is an excessively high power spell, and I mean, really, he could just wish it away.
Hey man, Dig Beam is one of the greatest spells I ever make in Minecraft.
So yeah, so there's that. Working on that.
After about an hour in the inn, after paying up, go out and start talking to people about that, Grindelhall? Is that his?
Rang something?
The mine owner.
Rangrim.
Rangrim. Oh, okay. Just gathering up general information on him.
A lot of people aren't really, as far as just normal people on the street.
Yeah.
He is not a famous name by any means.
Yes.
Suspicious.
Well, that's what I'm doing, just seeing if I can
He
find
should
leads to get to
None of the
who
people
might
up in
know.
the wealthy circle are famous names. They all know each other very well, and if you ask around the other wealthy people, oh yes, of course, but if you just ask the people on the street, of course not. They don't rub elbows with those people.
More's the pity.
Yes.
But
That's what
they
I
lack
do.
confidence. You just gotta walk up and hang out.
Yeah.
They're nice guys. They'll let you do
That's
that.
what I do with my time.
They'll let you do it.
It's not productive, but it seems like a good use of it to try to investigate. Either that or getting some background on him for lunch tomorrow, evidently.
Yes. Otherwise,
Oh, and I'll stop by Erich's place and ask to leave a note for him.
okay.
Saying if we're meeting up for lunch tomorrow, let's all meet up in front of Flint's place. Or some other, or your place, this inn, and leave from here. Because we don't know where that lunch is. Or who it's with. So I leave a note with their staff.
Why would we all be meeting up for lunch?
Well, not you. You're not part of the party.
He's technically part of the party.
Mm-hmm. But we know if we're ever doing city-side adventuring, you don't enjoy that and want to learn some smithing.
Well, as I said, my guy's probably going to need a new trade when he goes back up top. I have a feeling that he's not going to be welcome as a guard anymore.
Again,
To be
you
fair-
could just be mayor of that town.
Yeah.
No one can
No one can tell you no.
Yes, but he's not thinking I could just bully my way into being in charge and be a dictator. Is not his first reaction to things.
It really should be.
You psychopaths.
But you're the only ones that are going to keep them from being there. You have to keep them in check.
Oh, no, I don't. They can go be monsters all they want.
But
I'm now the town blacksmith. He's not a guard.
yeah, I know the two gods of town. Help them get to that point. I learned how to smith very well.
It's dwarven learning.
No, my favorite part is I go up there and they're like, the town's under attack. You should go tell a guard. Tink, 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 tink.
Would you like to buy a sword to fend it off with?
The entire town raised.
Just
There's
go
one
straight,
building left.
straight blue from Resident Evil 4. Help! The town's being overrun by zombies. Oh, you can purchase all this stuff at regular price.
Well, what are you buying? How bad do you want to live?
So yes, that's what I'm doing with my time.
Otherwise, dream of Dwarven's skull being pecked out by a raven from the inside.
Cool.
And you had basically casual.
We didn't go to get my mug enchanted?
He's taking care of that. It'll take a couple of
Oh, yeah.
Did you actually find out what he's putting on it, or just
He did
something?
not.
No. I assume it'll be amazing, though.
Yep.
Okay.
I have faith.
Drinking problems, Nick?
I'm pretty sure you wouldn't, but just part of my hands. He's gonna knock my elbow. Just. I know. That's just where my mind went.
If for no other reason than he knows me and he knows all my stuff's back there.
No, I very rarely screw with people whilst they're eating. It kind of goes against my principles. I don't mess with people's food.
But that was just what my lizard brain said. Be
you-
careful.
You're in danger.
Go back to the same
You're a
end.
lizard? What?
I go back to the same end.
Okay. Do you wait the next day
must also
for
enjoy clip-on ties.
Nick?
Didn't he leave me a note?
Yes.
Did it ask me to?
It says if we are going to go there together, we'll have to meet here. Are you choosing to bring him along for your meeting?
Well, that's what the meeting was about, right?
Mm-mm.
What was the meeting about?
The meeting was about some business decisions that Rangrim thought you could assist with as he's moving
okay.
forward.
Well, no, I don't know. If it's not about the investigation, no, I go along.
No.
Show up. He's a dick.
Yeah.
I'll leave a note letting him know it's a private meeting. I'll be in touch when I'm done.
I guess I'll
Specifically, the thing that he mentioned that you were really, he geared it more again towards Henwick go to would be something after he settled the whatever he was doing. Basically, he said, I have something to do with Erich tomorrow. Someday after that, we can...
Yes, we'd rather not be associated with wanted ex-murderers.
I was clear to those
Ex-murderer,
charges.
as in not a murderer.
Yeah, ex-murderer. You were once thought to be a murderer. You've been exonerated. That's why you're an ex-murderer.
No, that's ex-accused.
I'm going to stick with ex-murderer because it's a better name.
Mm.
It's just better.
In that case, I spend the day trying to follow up on my...
Ex-murder is
Business card
something that
stuff.
happens when Alan reverses time.
Freaking out. Reversing all that time.
3. Adam gets 3. Whatever it was.
Mm-hmm. I'm checking on time to your axe. Just making sure I'm keeping track of how long you're...
Yeah, I can't really go out and do things. I don't have a weapon.
They're not drawing their weapons.
I'm just saying, I'm not going out of the temple. I don't have a weapon. I'm not safe. I'm not safe at all.
He's all naked right now.
All I have is armor. What has that ever done for me?
Made you untouchable.
Nuh-uh. They can touch my armor. Kank, kank, kank.
Yeah, so you show up to your meeting.
I do. On time.
Of course. Yeah, no. Grand Grim is there. Very glad you made it. I felt somewhat of your experience going to caverns, adventuring, could really see. Well, come on, let's go. He sort of walks down, several buildings down. He's like, I have this office here, and we'll be going gathering some people outside the city. But I felt we should probably talk first. And he sort of leads you in, and he has very nice office, all sorts of like a box sort of thing on the side of the wall with each of different metals and all things. Just sort of a showy room kind of thing. Sort of sits down at an oversized hardwood table.
So rich
I also take a seat.
Yeah, like as you sit in the chair, it looks a little tough, but it just sort of sinks in with the cushion that just sort of gives way as you sit into it.
Isn't this chair made of stone? Yes, it's memory foam stone.
It's memory stone.
Now you see, what I've decided is we can produce large quantities of the metals that we have. But we need to give a good show for sort of bringing back the PR with a bit of the sort of the trash and the tabloids, smearing our name after what happened.
It's been like 2 days.
Well, hey man, these low beings. I mean, one person dies.
Not even at work.
So I've arranged a large faction of my workers, and I figure the best thing to do is to send them deep into the caverns, where we can discover a new metal. I've got a punch. I know exactly where to do it. Of course, we'll send guards. A guard for every, let's say, 2 dozen. And, we'll set them out today, and I thought, perhaps, we could, if I, of course, give you something for your time, we can come back here afterwards. You could, give a bit of a pep talk as they're going, because, of course, some of the men are a little cautious going much further.
Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to. This will be a grand adventure.
Before it gets too late in the day,
I can smell the disaster in the air.
Do you just go in and out to maintain?
So much better if I give the pep
I'm going to
talk,
go out there so I
shoving
can,
HP
so I
at the
can do it in the
problem.
morning.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I am assuming that you're doing that every day.
Right, okay.
Yeah. But otherwise, at this point, okay, just, as of the point we are at right now, I am assuming you are basically doing your main stuff and continuing your work each day.
Yeah.
I am assuming you are continuing your process with smithing. We are still getting you two both towards a constant thing to get through the remaining few days here.
I'm just waiting for Erich to show up and interrupt my smithing because he needs someone to stand behind him to look big and imposing so he feels more important. Because when he's in town, he has a butler. When he's out of town, he has clearly a bodyguard.
I don't need either of those things.
No, you don't. And yet, I feel like it might have happened.
No, he'll run ahead and then have to teleport away.
Yeah.
I have teleports for a reason.
Yes.
But otherwise, yeah, so it goes over the idea, and yeah, he'll...
Oh yeah,
then
this is a great plan. Internally, this is a terrible plan, and that's what I like about it.
You can smell the adventure rolling off it after
smells
all
like
these
adventure.
dwarves die.
It smells like adventure. Why does adventure smell a lot like dead bodies? Well, most adventures start with a few dead bodies.
Also, there's some in the middle.
And so he gathers
more
a few,
towards
rolls of parchment and stuff as well. Best to be off there. They're expecting us to come see them off. Got some charts and such. Got a good plan, a good feeling about this. All will end well. yeah, basically leads back down past Flint and outside where there are about 400 dwarven miners assembled.
Why are you not at Flint's?
Because I'm checking on our business opportunities to get us all money.
If you were there, I would have gabbed you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's like 400 dwarven miners all assembled sort of in the open cavern outside of the city, just sort of waiting. And they have a bit of a temporary raised platform where the pair of you kind of go up. There's a few other the dwarves there, and one of which he hands over the charts to. And so pretty much you are gathered in front of this giant golden wall with this sort of just field. Probably when you did leave town, there were probably a few arbitrary dwarves sort of congregating outside the town that you're not used to. But by the time that you actually get out there, yeah, it's just a field of dwarven, mostly just dwarven working class men.
Oh, yeah? You just want me to start with the speech right away?
Yeah, no, he'll sort of, introduce again the idea. Of course, you have brave men, and he sort of almost introduces, it's like, and some of you may think this is foolhardy, but I know a man that's gone do great things and has achieved much out there. And of course, exactly how safe and how well accomplished you will be. And he kind of introduces you.
That is not the speech I was intending to. It was like,
well accomplished.
Well accomplished. No, we're just going to be safe. We're all going to come back alive. Oh, okay. I guess we can go that direction with the speech.
I was going for high adventure,
well accomplished could be either.
Though 80 of you may die, one of you may live. That one will have such stories. Now, I'm going to ham it up. We're going to talk about, the great works that miners do to put forth all dwarfs. Because when people think of dwarves, they think of sturdy folk, powerful folk, industrious folk who do not fail.
Your brother
Perform, my friend.
Natural 20.
Damn.
You're not even halfway through the speech, and you just see the atmosphere,
We're gonna do great work.
Just a campaign rally.
30?
31.
31. Yeah, they're all like
tomorrow. Your campaign rally.
And by the end of the rally, sort of they are marching their way, as the dwarf that had gathered the charts and was like sort of looking through them as your speeches started, but just sort of it's like now leading them out of town, just sort of trying to pick up where they're even going on the charts as they're leaving.
We're gonna mine some stuff.
Never imagined it being better than that.
You just sit down, they walk off, and you go over, oh, they're so gonna die.
I have a great respect for dwarves.
They're all dead.
No, man, with this kind of a morale bonus, they've got to do some work.
Yeah, and then die a horrible death. But there will be work in the middle.
Who knows? They might find some new.
If they all kill themselves on an unbeatable enemy, do I get XP for the deaths?
No. I'm not just going to throw that kind of XP at you.
Too much XP.
One guy lives back in town, he's level 30. How? I killed them all.
Yeah, this is just a big prologue for a Dwarven City Battle Royale.
Mm-hmm. That we will not be sticking around for.
Well, no, we're not dwarves.
Yeah.
Sometimes the dice roll my way.
Whatever makes you feel more bardy.
No, the problem is that it only happens when it would be funny for it to do so. Not when you need it to, but when it would be amusing.
I'd argue that I needed that.
Yes.
I'd argue I needed that 20.
And yeah, so he'll take you back to his office and sort of pick through some things. Sort of a patched up robe, some sort of silky black cloth,
A brazier. A bronze brazier.
a few sort of...
So familiar today, are we? A bronze brazier.
Oh, he got real familiar. That's how he got the bronze brazier.
I need those familiars.
Razor?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the joke.
Okay.
That's a throwback to Mission of Good joke.
I think we made it with him summoning his familiar too. It's just such the
A
easy
couple of
go.
stones, but he's like, I've got a few of these trinkets. Would you care for one of them?
What are they?
We have a silky black cloth, a robe with a bunch of patches on it,
Well, it's not going to be a robe.
a pair of stones that have sort of like profiled faces on them, and a medallion, sort of with a spiraling pattern on there.
Do I know what any of these things do, aside from the robe?
Question: when you said I had access to ink, is that free or do I pay for it?
To copy first level spells, at this point, you have access to the ink to do that. If you want to spend your time copying them, you may just spend the time while you are here.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, there's
So yes, if you would rather do that than copy your... Yeah, if there are any first level spells that you are missing right now,
Can I spend 6 of my hours doing
that would basically be the first day that you were there, yeah.
Okay.
Because that was about how much time you had left after you'd gotten there. So yeah,
Okay.
you could have done that the first day. And
Alarm, silent image, and
Didn't you already have silent image?
no.
You've just been using the cantrip
furthermore,
version.
if there are any spells that you have,
Mm-hmm.
like in another source that you haven't copied over, you may just spend the time and you may use the ink to copy those as well.
Oh, okay.
So if you need to copy some spells that you've been sitting on, yes, you may just copy them while you are here.
Okay.
It's like I think
Which instantly, by the way, if you don't realize, makes the guild dues nothing.
Right. Yeah, I go ahead and put down 50 gold for
Next couple of months.
Next couple months.
I see.
Hold on.
Oh, I'm just more to pay for.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
hold
they
on.
are. They are aware of it.
Yeah, you're giving me ink. Okay.
Yeah.
50 gold.
So what does he say they do? Or do they do anything? Are they just for fashion?
No, some sort of magical trinket. I'm not. I'm not too versed on them personally.
take the silk pocket square.
Well, I mean, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of want the amulet because, I
Well,
don't know, magic
You
amulets
already
to me.
have an amulet.
I do. That's the thing is, I already have an amulet. I don't need walkie-talkies.
Also, does that silk piece of cloth fold out?
So it's sort of like draped over.
About how big is it? Like a 10-foot circle?
Yeah, sure.
About that. Well, I do not have the means to tell what these are.
Take the portable hole.
I don't even have detect magic.
It's a portable hole. Take the portable
Sounds at
hole.
this point that you have discerned 3 of the 4 of them.
Yeah, it's a robe of useful items, a portable hole, speaking stones, and the other one was what, the amulet, right? Spiral amulet?
Yep.
I don't know what spiral amulet is.
It's a medallion, technically. Yeah.
Huh. I was actually thinking, evidently they already have that as an item. I was thinking about talking with the corpse cart one day about having message just tied to 2 objects.
Yeah, sending stones.
Yeah. So there are just walkie-talkies already.
Yeah.
But obviously we want the
They
portable
were
hole.
relevant. Was it last?
Maybe.
2 games ago. 2 games ago. When you had he had one that was how he was in communication with the
Demon?
the devil he had
Yes.
made a bargain with.
Yeah, so I had a magic one specifically to the demon. The devil.
Devil, yeah.
Devil, not a demon. Specifically
Yeah, that
not
character
a
was
devil,
very
a
specific
demon.
about it. Yeah.
Specifically not a demon. Well, does the amulet do anything I can tell? In within less than a minute of effort?
I'm wildly disappointed in you for immediately not grabbing up that portable hole.
What do I have to carry?
Also, I'm disappointed because I could totally see you just folding it up into a square and just having a silk handkerchief of fine silk. Oh, fine black silk.
Can I also buy spell components here at the guild?
They have access to them to purchase, yes.
Because if we had the portable hole, we could shove Ryan's skeletons in the portable hole and go into town whilst not having to leave skeletons and zombies lying around, too.
That would be
On top of
the
which,
thing that I want.
being able to store things easily.
Yeah, because the robe's not important because I'm not going to wear it. The speaking stones are obvious because if you talk at one, it comes out the other. But the I don't know, like, does it make ticking noises?
No,
Shaking.
almost as you're spending all the time with it, you just get a bit of a haze as you're trying to focus on it. Your brain just not able to. As you're sitting there, trying to figure it out, it's almost like your thoughts just get a little hazy.
So by spiral, you mean the old-fashioned hypno spiral?
I said no such thing.
I kind of want the amulet because the bag seems like the portable hole seems like too much of a gimme. Like, I mean, obviously.
I don't want to take the best one because it's obviously the best one.
Yeah, it's like, well, where's your sense of adventure?
You're a monster.
Where's your sense of adventure? Does the compass have an opinion?
The compass points west, slightly south.
Is that coincidentally pointing at one of these items?
If one of you guys wants to make a luck check.
19. No, wait. 20.
20?
20.
Probably points towards the portable hole, coincidentally.
That's good enough.
I feel that is the best way to use that skill right now.
It's like, magic compass, what we doing? So be it.
Thank God.
Yeah, Tasha's Hideous Laughter was the other first level spell.
Okay.
A true classic.
It's almost like a control spell, except with... No, it's just a control spell, never mind.
Yeah.
It's like, with damage. No, it's not. It's
No,
just
no
control.
damage.
They still have the thing about laughter not being translating.
No, but it still has tiny tarts.
What?
Tiny tarts is the material component for Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
But it no longer has they must understand your language.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, that's true because that was like a bonus on the save, and 5th edition wouldn't do. Well, I can give him advantage maybe.
Save a fall prone incapacitated for the duration. Creature with an intelligence score of 4 or less is not affected.
Okay, so dumb animals aren't affected by laughter.
No, yeah, much appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
If he needs any assistance in the adventuring capacity, he knows how that'll be around for a bit still.
Mm-hmm.
You give them your in.
Yeah, we'll stay at that in.
Yeah.
I'm shocked he hasn't invited you back to the manor. Just be his guest.
I don't want to turn into a piece of Zentian furniture.
Oh, those weren't guests. Those were employees. It's way worse. I wonder if they got back pay.
At the end of it, they returned to human. I don't remember.
They did return to human, but it's not the point.
Are you talking about some sort of book?
Beauty and the Beast. They
Oh.
still did their job, but
Zentian?
they deserve
Sentient.
back pay.
Oh, okay.
I feel like they deserve back pay, but it being France, I'm sure they bungled it somehow. There's a reason they killed all the aristocrats in France.
Yeah, they didn't like them.
Yeah. Probably lack of back pay when they got turned into furniture.
It's because they brain corrupted themselves after a bunch of wars.
And then,
No back pay because they got turned into furniture. I'm just saying I'm right.
Yeah.
So you are promoting the brand?
Mm-hmm. Drop inquiries at my hotel address.
Just go into your hotel, start asking questions. Drop them inquiries.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And basically you are promoting yourselves as sort of basically a mercenary group.
Yes. Adventuring needs, monster clearing, other such things.
Furniture moving.
What's very, very little in the manual labor thing.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I
Three
don't.
of us are super good at manual labor.
And for those that because during and you're doing this over several days, is that okay? because we can sort of push you for that. You do over days get some people that kind of have interests. What kind of price range are you gearing towards? Because you're not looking to do low-end work, which would be the most commonly available.
400 gold at least.
So should I sell this portable hole now? It's worth a lot of money.
No, we should use it forever. Portable holes are amazing.
But I could have all the money.
Depends on whether it's murder or just moving stuff or casting spells. If it's going out and killing something, higher. If it's doing work in town for something special like that, lower.
Yeah, you can find some in general, just sort of, if you want, if you're wanting to get...
Hell, I'll even, at a prorated, 5 gold...
I'm going to be nice to you and let it be a persuasion check.
Natural 2, so 13.
You know what? I didn't make an luck check, at least, so you know.
I did not.
You just roll a 2 and get a 13?
Yeah.
Plus 11.
Did you,
Yeah, I'm also offering the service of at 5 gold a pop. If you come and listen to a morning pep talk, just more hearty throughout the day.
No one needs that in the city.
Yeah.
Your general price is assuming up into the hundreds for actual risky things outside of town. Generally, no one...
Oh, no, into the thousands for risky things.
Which puts nowhere
The hundreds
near,
of thousands.
near any interest for that. You can spend what ends up ultimately being your final day sort of around town here. Basically earning 20 gold, just literally doing some carting of stuff around town. You get someone that, it's like, I got a cart that I need someone to push.
Rabble.
Yeah, and basically...
But I'll do a good job.
Technically, they talk about, if something goes wrong, we'll double it, if you have to actually defend it. You don't.
It's a big straight street with guards all along it. Or they actually...
A lot of it is actually, it's carting between... No, it's all inside the city. Yeah. But a lot of it is from, basically, things that are needing to move from building back in the alleys thing. And you kind of... you during that, get a little more feel for the obnoxiousness of how some of the alleys make you move and go around things with transporting goods. But, yeah, you earn more than a good day's wage.
Yeah.
You, I guess, go back the following day to collect your mug. And it is basically an ever full mug of ale.
Oh, neat. That's exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, it's not like the King's Ale you've had, but it seems generally about as good as what they're generally having around the table here, and so it's a higher class, nothing low end. If poured out into another container, it goes away after 5 minutes.
Enough for somebody to drink it, though.
Yeah, it's like enough you can serve it, do that, but they can't sit around and sort of. It's everything. If you poured it into their mug, you sat around and had a conversation, they would not finish it necessarily before. I thought I had a bit left.
Does that mean people getting drunk off it don't stay drunk?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, okay.
That is when it's poured into a container. Once it's been drunk, it's been drunk.
People are not
instantly
containers.
processed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Instantly processed in the liver, 100%. You get smashed at one sip.
The idea is the mechanics behind it are it's broken if you could instantly sell all sorts of ale.
Yeah.
But
it's
I don't want
also
you.
broken
But
if
it's
you
also
don't get
silly
hammered.
if you don't get to have the ale. It's not. It is defeating the point if you're not actually having the effects of having ale.
Yeah,
He might as well have just gotten that that mug of sobriety.
Right?
First item, mug of sobriety.
Since I've got the option, I guess I'll spend because how many more days left do we got before Bob's thing's finished?
2, well, depending on from where we're at. But you had after the day that you copied things, you had 3 days that you could do with whichever you prefer.
Go ahead and copy Wish Demi-Plague Clone.
Can you copy spells that are above levels you can cast?
I don't.
Because I don't think you can.
Yeah, the
Probably
red I read
not.
today said no.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Then I'll do research on animate.
Okay. So you do that.
I
A
did
lot of your dreams involve street folk, and maybe the odd person you met here or there pops up in them. No, one of your dreams is just a field outside of the city, just full of ravens, just hundreds of them, all flying off to their death. You have no idea what that's about.
Yeah.
To be seen nevermore?
I like your style.
Yeah.
There.
Decipher and copy it, so no.
Yeah. You had that, and I'm guessing at this point just a few more days, just sort of rubbing elbows
Yeah.
with the...
Rubbing elbows, meet up with these guys every one day and be like, yeah, no, we're putting in some good work. They might have some work for us, maybe.
Yeah, I've been spreading the word also.
I'm almost convinced we will eventually have work because I'm basically 100% sure a bunch of dwarves are about to die.
Oh, if you say that, I mentioned the bird dream.
Yeah, it's going to be an adventure. Some of those dwarves are going to come back and have some amazing stories.
Maybe.
I have faith.
That's cute.
Well, he now has knowledge of religion. He's supposed to.
There are basically 3 more days for tracking those of you that are staying at an inn before it's the day that comes for you to collect your item. First off, you note that you have 3 days lab research on your spell somewhere in your notes.
Okay.
That you'll be able to easily reference it before. You may add 15% additional towards getting...
I'm at 35%.
Yes.
Which is still way quicker than this is supposed to be going.
Yes.
It'll take forever.
It does, yes.
Is it supposed to take like a year?
A year or be part of like a feat when you level up.
Alright.
So you are literally earning something through your in-game time that is supposed to take a large part of your resource.
Hey, I spend a lot of time doing it.
Yeah, no, you
I'm
have.
totally earning it.
Yeah, you are earning it. Yeah, that's the point. And yeah, you can... and also, I did during that time, you do eventually end up with a sit-down, as eventually, during one of your meals or such, let's see here, Mother Rauda would like sort of almost the story of where you came by her amulet.
Oh, this is a tale. I have to figure out how to tell it to my stone.
Yeah. You start talking to your stone, and she will say, "Look at me.
I look up at her, then go back to telling the story to my stone.
Talk to me. You can talk to me."
Get up and walk off.
Just sit down, young man.
You're weird. Just looks over. Yeah, have a seat. Have a seat right over there.
How is he doing that?
She does have a 24 persuasion check.
I have to sit back down.
She's so kindly and awed and baked you cookies.
She's been feeding you for days.
Hey, I've been paying for it. I gave him like 7 or 8 gold.
Oh.
I donated money.
Yeah. Now, tell me the story.
I keep telling my stone.
Hey, tell me you keep talking to the stone. Well, then what's the story? Why do you talk to the stone?
Be quiet. Don't make a sound.
You can speak. You can make a sound now. You've been quiet long enough. You are loved.
Oh, god dang it. I gotta figure out how to do this for my character.
Yeah, you do.
Hey, welcome to therapy.
The problem is with this kind of issue, it's gonna take a long time
Yeah.
for the therapy to actually work. I just kind of shut down and sit there and don't say anything else for the rest of the time.
She's gonna sort of set you aside, and she's gonna say, eventually she...
Because she's doing it also in a public place.
You're kind of off to the side, but yes, there are other people in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not going to help.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, the rooms here are just kind of public, but yeah, she sort of sits aside. And that's during one day, and perhaps... And she sort of goes off at that and sort of lets you return to your warning, and she says, I'm going to talk to you on another day. You keep... I hear wonderful things about what you're learning and what you're making.
Okay.
She's actually doing something that I didn't expect to do, but because it's on my mind right now.
I don't know, is that going to be a really powerful spell? Your raised monster, will they have any of their abilities, or just base skeletons?
He does not know.
Yeah, I don't know. The entries.
I am still deciding.
Yeah, the entries in the monster manual, they retain some of their abilities, but
Because there's what? Beholder, Minotaur, normal skeleton,
ogre and
ogre.
something else. Ogre, beholder, and for skeleton we got minotaur and warhorse.
I was thinking about in my head, like, but well, you could animate a horse, but that would be uncomfortable. But I guess not if you just throw a saddle and a lot of blankets under it.
And they're okay.
Does D&D have a Damphir, or not Damphir, dual hand or other headless undead option?
Maybe.
The next day, she takes you aside again. She hands you another stone. She hands you a stone with a face on it. You speak to this stone. And from the stone, it speaks to you. You can speak to this stone.
Freak me out. I'm gonna do... We don't have will checks anymore. Dang it.
We have wisdom saves.
Wisdom save.
Yeah, there was some saves.
Alright, I'm gonna roll a wisdom save and see if I can make it. I have to speak to the stone. Ooh, that's not great. Oh, it's a 9 at least. 9, 10, 11, 11. 11 on a wisdom save to try and talk to the stone through my own mental issues.
Well, you're the one who decides whether that passes
you
or
would
not.
decide if that would pass. Perhaps if you're holding both stones?
I'd still think I need at least a 15.
Well, then you fail.
Yeah.
You are a failure.
I try to... I hide the speaking stone behind my stone and speak to my stone.
You may utilize the speaking stone. You may utilize the sending stone. I'm basically modifying it. You may cast message through it, which basically lets you speak to where the other stone is.
Okay.
So basically, you have to willfully be talking to the stone for that to actually work.
Yeah, it didn't
Then
work.
it didn't. You. She says,
I'm gonna try it again.
yeah. She says,
Oh, yeah! Yeah!
I can't see.
He rolled a 15, so he got 17.
Okay.
Yeah, I totally get to deal with
Yeah.
my mental issues.
Yeah, and so she'll sort of work with that. And she'll do that probably for, again, the third day a little bit more. And do that, gathers both, first off, what actually happened, how much detail are you willing to give with what the guy had done, had said originally?
Does she try more than once?
She's basically asking since she tried originally on the first day, and...
Not great for the next 2 attempts.
Okay. Then yeah, so she doesn't exactly know what freaked out, but basically you freaked out and someone gave you her symbol, which basically, you know...
Oh, no, the guy with the symbol? That's no problem.
Okay,
I actually
which
like-
basically says something happened to your mother, and that is a great offense to you to be made fun of. And she will say, the nicest things about your mother. That she
Just massive
doesn't know her.
flattery.
But she does. She has a heart to care, to give encouragement.
She's the greatest granny ever.
Yeah, she brought me warm chocolate chip cookie. Oh, there you go.
But she's made me some nice soups and.
That's not a warm chocolate chip cookie.
You say to the stone.
We don't have meat. We don't have chocolate. We don't have a concept of what a cookie is. It's like you're really batting 1,000, but that's not that.
But yeah, she will just sort of work with you on that, and it's like for that one person that may have said nice things, there are so many I'm sure that love you. And she sort of, probably around the third day, she's going to give you the second of the stones. And I want you to give this one to someone that does. To someone that could.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a long travel. Back to the gnome town to give it to the person who cares.
Yeah, that's what she wanted.
We care.
You care about adventure. You care about undead.
Yes, it's
I don't know. You're just creeping me the hell out.
You just keep
very
not
important.
dying.
It's very important that we are all adventuring together.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. I mean, do you know how boring single hero adventurers are? I mean, they're great, and I've been part of many of them. In fact, I'll tell you a few when we got some time later.
I'm just saying, you're not
group
selling that this is boring.
But group adventures are fantastic. Because, I mean, it's all good and well when your hero's, like, the best guy ever. But sometimes you want less a great guy and more of a diverse group.
Also, it just really helps sell the story when there's other people there who agree with you and you know they're not lying about it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you guys can leave town midday after you go collect your sword.
Your flaming axe.
Yeah.
He gives you a sword.
It's like, why? Technically, you also collect your sword. It's now a partially broken, disenchanted sword. If you want it, you can.
Does your sword still want to eat it?
Can I talk to somebody at the guild before we leave?
You may.
Alright.
Technically, if you guys don't want to leave at that point, you don't have to. That is just what the immediate thing that was holding you there was.
Right.
Well, did we ever get a job from...
Nope, you had your 1 day's job, but you had no...
Well, no,
long-
not me, Austin. Did that guy ever... The slaughtered doors ever come back and him send us out on some adventure?
No. He sent them on a trip that would be, a month just getting there.
Oh yeah, it's a big trip. They're going to find a new metal. They're going to go on a grand adventure.
Well, Ryan, if you need more time learning your stuff, I can certainly take more time.
Right.
We're hemorrhaging money. Us not staying at the free church.
I've got accommodations now.
Yeah, good for you.
I had accommodation.
Mm-hmm. But basically, yeah, it's just the same enchantment moved over. And I had a note I needed to read because there's a visual change. I remember now.
Well, yeah, we can
Give the
start-
rock to the old enchanter lady. Just be like, no, you're my friend, crazy lady.
We can start heading
The-
towards Stone or Compass now, I guess.
I think that is going to be something I have to reference in here.
We could follow those dwarves.
You also have your compass that's pointing towards something.
Yeah, but I mean, I kind of want to see what happens to those dwarves. I mean, they might need another pep talk when things get rough. You know, adventures always start easy, get rough.
There is a transparent reddish-brown stone that has been basically set between part of the metal that you basically, from the side, you can see through, which technically is what houses the core of the enchantment. But so there's a spine out, a red gem that is set in there. Cool.
Yeah, so once we gather up and
I
to
take-
Compass.
Take axe back to church.
Mhm.
Sit down, put it down, and pray over it for like an hour.
Mhm.
And I stand up and I summon it to my hand.
and I put it in my bag.
I was going to ask around if anybody here had expertise with knowledge and aberrations.
No.
Yeah. Does anybody have expertise in enchantment magic or anything that...
Yeah, there are a few with, you kind of get the feeling of none of us are great experts in it. We have a number of people that are well trained. We have some people that are members of the guild that aren't here that are much more expertise with it. Many of them, don't hang out here. They have their own spots because they have usually shops and such.
Is one of them a crazy lady?
Because
More than one of them is a crazy lady.
I'm looking for information on... I think that I've had some either memory erase or memory modification that's happened to me, and I was wondering if they could help me out.
Wouldn't that be an enchantment? Oh, that's what you meant by enchantment specialist, not enchanter, enchantment. Oh, okay.
Yeah, enchantment.
Yeah. Applying something to something long term.
No.
No,
Mind affecting brain.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are the something that something has been applied to long term.
Right.
Enchanting, like magical enchanting, is universal magic. It is not typed.
Yeah.
Or at least in 3.05.
So yeah.
Yeah, there is no universal magic.
What's prestidigitation now?
Good question.
Because that used to be like the
I
only actual
probably
straight
confused my
universal
poor
spell.
trainer.
I'm going to guess it'd be transmutation.
I
right?
woke up, ate breakfast, left,
Transmutation.
and then came back and sat around for an hour staring at an axe, put it away, and went over to start working without saying anything.
Because what else was universal?
Contingency.
Read magic?
Contingency is probably what, divination now? I probably don't. It doesn't exist anymore.
Huh? Contingency exists. Contingency. I'm guessing evocation.
I feel like divination would make more sense.
Evocation.
Yeah. See, that's what happens when you build a system where you decide, alright, so what school is this? Well, should we check what effect it is? No. How many of these spells do we have at this level? This many. We need an evocation spell. It's evocation.
Wish is conjuration now.
Yeah, it's like stuff like that. It's like we need to balance the books, but it doesn't make sense and it violates internal consistency.
Again, I was pointing out mass heal, mass cure wounds are evocations now. You're exploded healing.
Now they've changed it. Instead of you're summoning stuff from a particular energy plane, you are just using the energy.
But what about all the actual conjuration heals?
Anyway, so I guess the real question is, at this midday point, are you guys gathering together to leave, or are you staying in town?
Gather, leave, follow compass.
I say,
my vote.
yeah, and it's like I'd say we go and investigate for treasure, and then come back here when we've got more
We're
stuff.
rich.
So, does anyone come and tell me?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
No, we just leave him here. He can just we leave him here in therapy.
Oh God,
You've got a problem, Bob, and you got to get over it. We're having you committed.
So who goes to collect him?
I'll do it.
He knows where he is.
Yeah.
I don't.
You get a brief talking to as you're collecting him, and just basically nothing necessarily about him, but just sort of almost trying to her get the idea of what you think about him.
About Kalidan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I broke him out of prison.
And he's like, well, he's helped me a lot. And was when I was unlawfully dealt with, he saved me from that situation. I've owed a debt of sort of mutual assistance to him because of him doing that. He's always been a guy at the front of bad situations, keeping us safe, and he's got his whatever triggers, but he's been a good, loyal companion to us.
I'm glad to hear that's who he's been. And she kind of wanders off. Unless you try not to, you can overhear that. You're probably nearby being collected at the time.
So she just betrayed me. Started asking questions. That's fine.
No,
I
she
don't
specifically. Yeah, she specifically. She didn't say anything that she didn't really talk to you. She just checked who is collecting you. Who are you spending time with?
I would have told her about some of the great adventure we've had.
Yeah, depending on who had picked you up, it would have been very different responses, I'm sure. But yeah, she just is You're good. I'm glad he's with you. Seem to pick good friends.
The best.
You are always welcome here.
Just thumbs up.
Bunny Jesus.
Bunny Jesus. Yeah.
Otherwise, so midday, bid farewell to Flint.
Yeah, see you, Flint. Thanks for having us.
I'll let Marcus and Rangrim know that I'm heading out on grand adventures again.
You have the option to get an extra set of half plate, or to donate that to the church. You've made it.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. They will sell it to continue supporting things, but you have put the work in, and they are more than happy to let you keep it with the work you've done over the last week.
I keep it, but I give them another 20 gold.
Okay.
This is basically worth the same.
Well,
I think half is like 400.
it's more of cover materials.
Mm-hmm.
Feed the orphans.
Yeah.
I've been feeding orphans. Stop it. Don't get mad at me.
You know what you should be doing? You should be donating them rats so they can get a job.
That is not how life works.
And really, is
But
Urchin's
also,
a job?
I would like to point out, he was an urchin. He didn't have a rat.
He ate it.
No, I specifically got rid of it because rats are stupid.
Yeah.
But
So
you
not-
had one is the point.
No, I never had one. I specifically had a raven friend up above that led to all these fun dreams.
No, I'm pretty sure the stat block said you had a rat.
Nope, he talked about it beforehand, and there was no reason to have that.
Shouldn't it be a pigeon, seeing they're flying rats?
Anyways, 6,800 experience? Sound good?
Not time for combat?
No, not time for combat. Time to say goodbye. Join us next time for more.
6,800?
See.
Alright. Well, that's a level in extra.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's 950?
We're at 50,200.
I'm still short, apparently. What's level,
At
what's
this
level
point-
9?
Level 9's 48,000.
Oh.
So definitely, whatever we are, we're above that. But
So they got a level. See you next time.
Yeah, that's good RPing.